Hello fellow AFOLs and welcome to Long's Bricks. Today we are taking a look at LEGO Star Wars Set 75373, the Ambush on Mandalore Battle Pack. It has 109 pieces and retails for $20. It just came out on June 1st, and at least for right now, it is exclusive to Target. So I know, of course, LEGO always has their own stuff, so LEGO stores, lego.com, they will have it as well. But otherwise, it is exclusive to Target, which I think is weird. Apparently the entire like June 1st release wave for Star Wars, which is 4 sets, is all exclusive to Target. It's weird to have a battle pack be a store exclusive, which is why I'm kind of thinking it's only temporary and will eventually open up and everyone will eventually have them. But still just a weird decision. And I definitely did not know that going in. I was waiting to pick them up on Amazon. I had a gift card I was hoping to use. And, obviously it never went up. And then I found out, I think Target finally updated their app on Sunday the 2nd, saying that it was a Target exclusive. And then obviously the light bulb went off. Okay, that's why I can't find them on Amazon. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and dive in. We'll take a quick look at the box. So box is pretty standard. Honestly, it's a lot smaller than I first thought it was going to be. When I first saw pictures for this online, it seemed like the box was going to be larger, but I guess it is pretty standard size for battle packs. Of course, you have your 4 figures here on the front and a little bit of this kind of cave scene, which is what they're going with here. Up here, you have the Imperial Commando for a 1-to-1 scale. We'll get into it, but I really think they did a great job with these new figures. They look fantastic. Not too much going on the bottom or the sides, really. Just your LEGO Star Wars logo there. Over here, you have a smaller picture from the front. And then over here on the back, just kind of, showing off this new feature they have here with this clear piece to kind of make it look like they're flying, which I think is pretty cool. Would have been nice to get more than one of them, but we'll get into that later as well. So pretty standard for the box. We'll go ahead and we'll take a look at the minifigures next. Up first, we have the Mandalorian Night Owl. Really like the helmet printing there. I think that looks pretty good. Does have the holes in the side so that you can go ahead and attach the antenna piece here, or the scope. But I do think the printing's really nice. Printing on the chest I think also looks pretty good. No arm printing or side of the leg printing or anything like that. No dual molded legs. But still think it looks pretty cool. Of course, we have the jetpack here on the back. Pretty standard piece at this point. Nothing really new there, but that's done in that kind of gunmetal gray. If I remove the helmet and the jetpack, you can see just a solid black minifigure head underneath, so there are not individual faces here, I guess, since they're meant to be generic troopers with no real identity. Unfortunately, they do not have any kind of heads underneath, and that's going to be true for all of the minifigures in this pack. There are no unique faces, just solid black minifigure heads. But just so you can get a little bit better look at the printing here on the back, which is mostly covered up by the jetpack, but otherwise I think it does look pretty good. Next up, we have the Mandalorian Warrior, and very similar to the Night Owl in terms of color scheme and lack of printing here on the sides of the arms and the legs, but the printing we do get is pretty nice, and I do like the helmet, just kind of a darker gray in general as opposed to the Night Owl, which had more of a silver. Still have the holes there on the side of the helmet. And then once again, if I remove the helmet and the jetpack, you'll see the solid black minifigure head. And just to get a better look at the printing here on the back, which is also pretty sharp. Next up, the minifigure that I was most excited for in this pack, we have the Imperial Commando. I thought these guys looked so cool when they debuted in the Season 3 of Mandalorian, and I can't wait to have a whole army of these with Moff Gideon at the helm. I think they did a really nice job. I mean, we have the helmet here done in the gray and the white, and if I take that off, you can see that there is some dual molding in there, which is pretty nice. I think they did a really nice job with that. Again, do have the solid black head underneath. But yeah, the helmet came out great. The printing on the front, I think, looks really good as well. Still no printing on the side of the arm or the side of the leg. And then you have this little jetpack. Now, this jetpack we've seen recently in the space theme, and it has that little stud connector here on the back so that you can attach this little tile to just give some detail to the jetpack. But that's just a printed tile. But yeah, overall, a really cool looking minifigure here. And once again, removing the helmet and jetpack just so you can get a better look at the printing here, especially the printing here on the back. Not as exciting as the printing on the back of the Mandalorians, but still looks pretty cool. I don't mind this being covered up by the jetpack as much. Jumping in now to the main set, we have a couple of small builds here that I'll get out of the way. We see these little launchers a lot. I think we had one in the 332nd battle pack as well. I don't know about you, but these don't do anything for me. They're super simple builds. It's literally 4 pieces, I guess technically 5 if you want to count the mechanism here as a separate piece. But it's just this little piece upside down with a circular tile here underneath and then a stud for it to plug into, and it's just meant to be a launcher. Again, I mean, okay, it includes the, you know, flick fire stud shooter here, but I don't know. Just for me, I would rather these pieces be put towards something else. This is not really that impressive to me, but it is included. Next up, you have this little cache, which is a very simple build, and then you can just kind of lift up the top, and there is a thermal detonator inside. This is fine. I mean, again, I don't really need this. Doesn't really add a lot to the set, in my opinion, but it's a decent little build if you just wanted to kind of stack up, you know, a couple of caches of things, maybe to kind of have on the side of a diorama or something that you're building. It's fine. But let's dive into the main function of the set here. Now, obviously, this is meant to mimic the cave system of Mandalore as seen in Mandalorian Season 3. And the cool thing about the set, you can see that there is a kind of bar here on the side and a clip here on this side. So when you buy multiples of these, you can clip them together in different configurations. It also works with the Moff Gideon set. It comes with Paz Vizsla. It's also available on June 1st and is meant to connect with that as well. Not much to it in terms of what it does. I mean, the main feature, of course, is this piece on the side here, which is this clear, like, flight stand piece that's connected to this little ball joint, so you can kind of move this all around in the ball joint area there, and then we'll just take one of our figures, and it is meant to clip onto the back of the legs, like so. And so you can have them, you know, flying around with the jetpack, moving them all around, which is a cool feature. I do kind of wish there were 2 of them, because if I want the Mandalorian and the troopers to be fighting each other, it would be nice to have put a second one maybe over here somewhere, and then we could have, you know, the 2 of them flying around almost dueling each other. I think that would have been a nice feature. I do like the one. I just kind of wish that there were 2. Now, technically, if you would buy multiples of these, you could customize it. You could take the pieces from the other set, maybe put them over here somewhere, and then you could kind of have the 2 of them, you know, dueling each other in the air. I do think it's a neat feature, and I like the inclusion of this flight stand piece. I just really wish that there was a second one, so each side could be represented in the battle. Otherwise, just kind of an open area here, a little bit of rocky terrain. There is kind of a doorway here. There is kind of these 2 lights. We saw in the episode that, you know, the base was kind of built into the cliffside, so I assume it's kind of mimicking that. And this is like a doorway into the base of the Imperials. Around the back, not really much to show here. There's a clip with a larger rifle, and that's about it. But I mean, I guess it gives you a little bit of play value to kind of pretend like they're coming in through the door, and maybe now they're in the base, something like that. You know, grabbing some extra arms. I don't know. There's, again, it's not too much added play value, but at least it's something. And again, the more of these that you would connect, you know, maybe you could have the other one kind of coming across this way and then kind of make like a square with the base on the inside, something like that. But as it stands, not too much to do with this one. It's really just kind of, you know, posing the minifigures around to create a battle scene. Maybe have one of the Mandalorians coming out of the doorway, something like this. Maybe put the other one up here, you know, kind of getting ready to take off, something like that. But that's, you know, that's kind of it. I would say that this is mostly for display purposes on its own, because there's not too much in terms of, you know, play features or anything like that. But the more you get that you could connect them and kind of even take the pieces apart and make your own mock with the pieces and kind of customize it, or, you know, build up the cave system or the base area. So it could be cool. And especially once you get the set with Paz Vizsla and Moff Gideon, I think connecting at least those 2 together will be cool and definitely add on to the base feel. So I think that'll be kind of neat. Maybe get another one of these for the other side, something like that, and kind of build it out. But as it stands on its own, this is definitely a battle pack for the minifigures. And, you know, the motif, I kind of like them going in this direction instead of giving us just kind of like the same little vehicle over and over and over again when you're buying battle packs. They're giving you part of a terrain. It would be kind of neat if they designed like 2 different battle packs, same minifigures, but or maybe just give you 2 builds that you could make out of these pieces in the instructions. That way you could build like the A configuration, a couple battle packs in the B configuration, a couple in the C configuration, and then when you're linking them all together, it would give you variety. Something like that I think would be kind of neat to give you alternate possibilities. Now again, you could just come up with it yourself. That's obviously a possibility. Or just take a bunch of sets, pour all the pieces together and make one larger thing, another possibility as well. But it would be neat if they kind of included alternate directions or alternate configurations for the pieces here. Because I love the minifigures. I think they're fantastic. The rest of the build, I think really its true potential comes out of hooking several of these together as opposed to just having one. I mean, you could put this on the shelf and it'll look fine, but I think the more you get and can connect, it's really going to unlock its true potential here. So that's going to do it for set 75373, the Ambush on Mandalore Battle Pack. I think it's perfectly fine. I don't think it's, you know, an amazing set that you need to go out and buy right away. But the fact that it is a Target exclusive, I don't really see it going on sale. I don't even know if this will make it to clearance, honestly. Usually we see battle packs kind of eventually get marked down to $16. And while that does happen at Target as well, the fact that it's exclusive, I think is definitely going to make that wonky. I don't know if this is a timed exclusive and eventually will open up everywhere, and then the usual 1 to 2 year life cycle begins, and then they go down the $4 to $15, $16, somewhere in that area, and that's a good time to buy multiples. It's going to be up to you. I mean, I think $20 is fair. You get 4 really nice minifigures here. Could have used maybe a little bit more printing on the arms and legs, but of course that does drive the price up, so they kind of have to, you know, thread that needle, walk that line, as it were. I would rather, you know, kind of take these away and maybe put a little bit more printing on the figures or build up the rocky terrain a little bit more. The cash with the thermal detonator is fine. This does nothing for me. I know it's not wasting a lot of potential of the set, but just stop doing these. I don't think that I don't think the inclusion of a flick fire stud shooter is that important to add play value to the set. I don't think it's doing anything. But overall, I'm still very happy with the set. I think it looks good. I'm excited to get the other sets and start linking them together. I think that has a lot of potential. And even just the 4 minifigures included, I think are really great. So I think the $20 price point is pretty fair. So, yes, I know they used to be cheaper back in the day, but this is kind of the price point they've settled at this point. So I don't think anything supremely lacking with this battle pack as opposed to any others we've seen recently, like the 501st or 332nd battle pack that we've gotten in recent years. So I like it. I recommend checking it out if you're a fan of The Mandalorian, or even if you just really love the design of these new Imperial Commandos. I think it's worth checking out. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.